Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Doing another little taste test drinking video here. Kind of a whiskey tasting. I say kind of because it's actually a whiskey liqueur. It's not actually hard, proper, real whiskey that I've been trying out many things of, like Johnny Walker and all the other ones that I've been doing. No, this time I'm actually having my second whiskey liqueur. A little while ago, just before St. Patrick's Day, I did a video about Irish Mist, which was the first recommended hard booze from a family member who said, look, I know you're more of a beer drinker and that's great, but if you really want to try out something with a little more punch to it and maybe keep the pounds down from all the beer, try out Irish Mist. Love that stuff. And what we're trying out today blows Irish whiskey away. Irish Mist. It blows Irish Mist out of the water. This one was actually something we discovered by accident. Wow. It's become my de facto enjoyable social drink. I just love this thing. So, without any further ado, I'm talking about Glayva. This is a whiskey liqueur, much like Irish Mist before it. My previous video, which was before St. Patrick's Day, as I say, was to actually answer a friend of mine, Alan Mainmeister. He's from Scotland, and he feels bad that he doesn't really drink any scotch. And I thought to myself, well, Alan, if you are interested in trying it out, give Irish Mist a try. But I did feel bad suggesting to a Scotsman to drink something that's not Scottish. This stuff is Scottish. Glayva is from Scotland. Does it say here where? Probably says here somewhere. Well, it is, but I'm not sure exactly what distillery or where it's from, but my God, this stuff is good. And this was actually a mistaken purchase or a fill in the gap. My aunt, Edith, was coming to visit us in Canada, and we said, can you bring some of that Irish Mist that our cousin Barbara suggested? Because I love that stuff. And she looked up and down in the duty-free shop. She couldn't find anything. So she thought, well, I'll bring Glayva. I've heard good things about that. I'm very glad she did, because this stuff is glorious. I love Glayva. I highly recommend anybody who wants to try any of this stuff, give Irish Mist your first try, because it's a very, as I described in my first tasting, it's like adding orange juice to booze, believe it or not, but not like a screwdriver. Anyway, Glayva has a little bit of a more sophisticated taste. I think you would almost say this will get you on the road to proper scotch and whiskey and the real kind of whiskey, not the liqueur or sweetened type. But let's have a little drink of some Glayva. Love this stuff. Highly recommend it. Definitely give it a try. I'll go carefully here. I don't want to be... That's probably sufficient. We'll give that a moment to open up. But already I can smell... So how is Glayva different? Whereas Irish Mist has almost no real strong scent, or at least the bottle that I had, which is a little bit old and has, it's half full of air. Maybe that was causing the Irish Mist to be a little weaker in its aroma. This stuff I'm already getting a hint of. Now, this is a freshly opened bottle, so maybe that's a factor. But this one, it's got very fruity caliber kind of bouquet to it. It's very lush. It's got a syrup, like a maple syrup kind of a vibe going for it. And also in the flavor. I'd really like to give it a moment to open up and be able to properly try it out, test it for you. But time being what it is, I know you're not going to sit here with me for 20 minutes while I wait for this thing. So we'll just, we'll give it a little proper sniff to begin with. Yeah, again, we've got strong hints of many different types of fruit. A little bit more in the kind of apricot area and apples, with a hint of maybe maple syrup. Like it's got an outdoorsy pine element to it. Whereas the Irish Mist, admittedly mine felt a bit weak, but it was much more leaning in kind of the citrus department. This one, a little bit more outdoorsy, like at an orchard or something. Still with a citrus element, but definitely very aromatic. Phenolic, I believe is the right term. Anyway, let's have a proper sip here. Oh my God, that stuff is beautiful. I love Glayva. But let's describe. So you've got brown sugar, a little bit of lavender in a way. A lot of the cinnamon cookie dough kind of thing that many liqueurs and many, even some whiskeys in this department have all got. But you take that, and instead of the candy notes that Irish Mist had, this one is more full-bodied. This is to Irish Mist like a red wine is to a white wine. Maybe that'll help. Whereas like a white wine, quite easy to have on a warm day when it's been chilled properly, but sweet and dry and all that kind of things that a white wine has. And then when you have a red wine and you get that warm, impactful, enjoyable breadth of flavor that red wine brings. Nothing against white wine, but the description, the best way my mind can differentiate Irish Mist, which is very, very enjoyable, to this stuff, which is even more enjoyable, would be Irish Mist is white wine, Glayva is red wine. It's got a good full body, again, that brown sugar, maple syrup, molasses, even more so molasses than the Irish Mist. Golden syrup if you're in the UK. If Irish Mist has a cookie element, this one is a little more of like a deep chocolate cake. It's very hard to describe, but I definitely, love this stuff. And I could drink it for days. In fact, I may end up if I keep talking too much. Yeah, it's the kind of thing I can have of an evening. I can have a few of these in a way that's probably a little dangerous. And I can just keep going. And if I'm not careful, I might do so right now. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But Glayva, if you are looking for a way to start into the whiskey journey, if you want to find out what are people all talking about, what's a way to do this without feeling like I'm drinking boat gasoline, Irish Mist could be a good first step. That was our first foray. And then Glayva, oh my God, this thing will set you free, as a friend of mine once said. It has a great depth of flavor. It can be taken quite a few at a time, and I have ended up loving this stuff. This is my go-to if I'm not having if I'm not having a proper whiskey night, if I just want to have an evening with friends and family and just have a good time. Glayva is my jam. In fact, literally, because it's got like a jam type element to it. So yes, check out Glayva if you're interested in going into the whiskey world. This and Irish Mist will set you on your path to discover all of the different things that much more complex single malt whiskeys, even Johnny Walker, I'm a big fan of. That's a blended malt. All of those things that are possible out there, these will get you on your journey. So I hope that helps you, Alan, and others who are interested. If you want to try out getting into the whiskey world, Irish Mist and definitely Glayva, they will be your friends. I'm going to stop there, so until next time, I'll see you down the rabbit hole.